It's so exciting how many people are transitioning to a vegan diet or even asking questions about a vegan diet, because hopefully that means they're contemplating the transition sometime soon. So it is becoming more and more common to come across vegans in our society. And that's a huge, huge, huge step in the right direction. So I'm going to talk about 5 different reasons specifically why you should go vegan, or at least think about going vegan. I'm Carly. For anybody who hasn't seen my videos, I'm a plant-based nutritionist, and I try to come out with these videos about twice a week. So if you're interested in seeing more, please subscribe. So the first one I want to talk about are the ethical reasons. This is likely the majority of vegans out there will attest to this particular justification. So in North America alone, every year, 11 billion animals are slaughtered for food. That is beyond absurd. It is unnecessary for us to acquire our nutrition from animals. We can get the same nutrients and in a much more healthful form from plant-based sources. And these animals are not living any sort of happy, content, or joyful lives. They are living, 97% of them are living in these CAFOs, these concentrated animal feeding operations. If you need any more convincing on the ethical reasons, please look into some vegan documentaries. They're beyond graphic, so just be aware of that before you begin watching them. So the second reason is environmental. Being vegan reduces your carbon footprint more than any other change you can make in your daily living habits. So taking shorter showers or biking to work or buying your produce locally, none of these things can come close to the degree of change you can make by simply not eating animal foods. So this has to do with the depletion of natural resources and how the act of raising these animals contributes to global warming in such a big way. If that wasn't enough for you to want to go vegan, economical is the next reason I want to discuss. Being vegan is so cheap. Basically, a $2 hamburger at one of your favorite fast food places technically costs about $200 if it had not been subsidized. So the government subsidizes big agricultural businesses like sugar companies, dairy, eggs, meat, corn, soy, wheat, those types of foods. Livestock and processed ingredients are highly subsidized. Just keep that in mind when you're thinking about the dollar menu, because it's not really a dollar menu. It's much more complicated than that. The next reason is my favorite. It's the health and longevity component. If you want to talk about weight alone, on average, vegans are 30 pounds less than your average omnivore. And speaking from someone who has been both omnivorous for the majority of my life and then vegan for about the last 5 years, this weight loss is so passive. You literally just eat as much as you want whenever you want. I know that sounds too good to be true, but just try it and you'll see for yourself. So beyond reducing weight, which is a huge problem in America and other developed countries that are becoming more westernized. So they live on average 8 to 10 years longer, and these are not unhealthy, debilitating years. These are years filled with vigor and vitality, and you're independently taking care of yourself and doing all the things that you wish you could have done throughout your life had you not been working the entire time. And now you're retired and you're able to, spend more time with your grandkids and such. You have that energy and that motivation to, and that health to be able to accomplish these things. So being vegan also reduces risk of all-cause mortality. That's literally dying of any cause. You have less of a risk just by being vegan. This dietary pattern, which I want to specify right away that this is whole plant foods that I'm focusing on. You can be vegan and you can be a junk food vegan, and you can be extremely unhealthy, perhaps more unhealthy than a health conscious omnivore. So it's not just that you're taking harmful things out of your diet, like the animal products and the processed, but it's also the processed foods. So you want to try to eat a whole food, plant-based diet, which also happens to be vegan. So this diet has been proven to reverse things like heart disease, diabetes, Alzheimer's, obesity. So just keep that in mind if you're having any issues with your health. This is by far the best means you can go about protecting yourself, besides things like not smoking and exercising regularly and getting enough sleep. So this diet also cultivates a healthy microbiome. Your gut bacteria are responsible for so many processes that they haven't even been discovered yet, technically. But the ones we do know of, like how it impacts our short chain fatty acid to our long chain fatty acid conversion, and what that does for our brain health, and how it creates 90% of our serotonin, the neurochemical that makes us feel happy. And I believe it's about 50% of our dopamine concentrations. So those are our pleasure, our reward stimulating neurochemicals. It also does things like, improve ingestion and bowel function with all that fiber moving through your system. It improves circulation, which is again good for heart and brain health. It helps to make sure the right amount of nutrients and oxygen are being transported to your different tissues throughout your body. And it's detoxing properly by removing the CO2 and all the other harmful metabolic components. It also promotes healthy pregnancy and fetal development. This one is super important. I hope to see more and more and more plant-based mamas on board with this one. And lastly, it improves your sleep. So anybody who does not get that recommended 7 to 9 hours a night might want to try this diet on that reason alone. The last reason I want to talk about, outside of health, longevity, environmental, economical, and ethical reasons, is how delicious the food is. I know what you're thinking if you're still on the fence about this transition. If you're still consuming the typical high meat, high dairy, high processed junk food, it's going to take you some time. It's going to take about 30 days of you completely removing that from your system to adapt to this healthier way of eating. But I promise you, it is so worth it. Each day gets easier than the next. So the first week is definitely the hardest. It's like quitting smoking. It's like anything you're addicted to. You have to remove it completely in order to start healing and to start adapting accordingly. So the sooner you can remove those things and replenish them with the high nutrient foods, the faster you will start to reap the benefits of the flavors and the taste and the textures of these whole plant food dishes. So I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section below, and I will see you next time.